I am dying slowly.
Why are you dying?
Life. I went to the doctor yesterday.
Yeah.
And I was told I have come down with life.
You've come down with life.
It's a slow and insidious killer. It takes us all eventually. But we have today.
We do.
We have today. And
oh God.
that is a beeping noise.
That is a beeping noise.
That beeps real loud.
It does. I hope there's a volume.
You know, that almost beeps as loud as my smoke detector.
Really?
At my place, yeah.
Well, it started.
There you go.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, it's meant for a gym. So, yeah. Yeah. So I think that's, it's probably a good thing that it annoys us. It's so loud. Yeah, for everybody who just heard that, I got a timer for the podcast studio, so that way we don't run over like we have been.
We could go for 3-4 hours.
We really could. But I don't know that.
I mean, we could. I don't know if people would want to listen to it.
Yeah, that was what I was gonna say. Is I don't know if people want to listen to us for that long.
I don't know if I can listen to myself.
I couldn't listen to myself for that long. I can barely listen to myself for like listening back to these recordings, just like for the cleanup and stuff. It's just like I hear my voice and I'm like, ugh, no, I don't.
When I first started streaming,
yeah,
I hated watching myself, but now I can actually stand to do it.
I get it.
I don't know if that's because I've gotten used to it, or if it's because I'm really vain, or if it's because that I feel like I've progressed enough that I can actually watch it.
Maybe.
If I had to watch myself in my own stream, I mean, it's good that you should anyways, because it's good
you
to
should always
go back.
review, right?
Yep. But I can watch it, and actually, there's some things that will happen that I'll laugh at, which I don't know if I should feel bad about that or weird about it.
I don't think you should feel weird. I mean, well, maybe I don't have that luxury because, or maybe I have a luxury you don't is a better way to phrase that, because when I listen back to these, I catch myself laughing, but it's usually like because of something that is just going on, like it's something that maybe you.
It's like a situational thing.
Yeah,
it's not like you're laughing at a joke that you told.
Yeah, no, it's more often than not I'm laughing at what you guys say.
See, I laugh at myself telling a stupid joke or saying something stupid or silly, which that's why I think it's.
I don't
weird.
think you're vain, and I don't think it's that weird.
I think I'm vain. Well, I read something not that long ago that says that most actors not most, but many actors like to act,
right? Because
they like to see themselves.
I mean, I guess that makes sense. Yeah, I mean, you kind of have to want to see yourself on screen.
Some people don't.
Yeah, no, there's like
isn't Adam Driver is
exactly who I was gonna. Yeah, he doesn't like watching himself. Yeah. And neither does I think Johnny Depp doesn't actually like.
Oh, really?
He never like. Maybe it was him or somebody else, but I read a story that like they basically like they go to the premiere of their movie, and like they go through the red carpet, they sit and like do all the handshaking and stuff, and when the lights go out, they just walk out.
Wow.
Because they can't stand to see themselves on screen. So they like never watched a movie that they've done.
Interesting.
Which is
how do they get
cool.
better? How do
I know, right? Like
but I feel like when I have a perception of myself that the way I move my body or I say something, and then I watch that back and it comes off completely different.
Right. Yeah. It's like your self-image is just like, what was it? What do they call it in the Matrix? Like residual self-image or something like that?
Yeah,
like,
the way that you think that you look.
Yeah, to the world or whatever. Yeah, no, I know exactly what you're talking about. It's weird, right?
Yeah, and it's funny because they looked very, very different, and they dressed or they kept themselves different in that self-image. Yeah. But I guess in that sense, that are you? I guess you were really up to the staff and the director to trust
push you
that they're going to get that good take from you.
That's true. That's very true.
Whereas some people are very driven to make sure that they go back and put that performance on.
Yeah,
like some actors and others. Others are like it's all in your hands.
Yeah, it depends on your crew and stuff. I actually have a funny story, or something you might find funny about actors and takes. But before I get into that, everybody, welcome to the Roasto.
Oh yeah, we're doing a podcast.
We are.
We just launched into.
Yeah, because that's what we do,
conversation.
man.
Yeah.
And it's great. And apparently people seem to be enjoying it because our numbers keep going up on the podcast.
Great.
Thank you, everybody who's been listening and sharing. Again, we have this on multiple platforms. You can listen to it on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, all that good stuff, anywhere you get your podcasts, really. And we see those numbers, and it's great. And then you can also watch on YouTube because I'm doing animated versions of ourselves.
Watching on YouTube is my favorite.
Yeah.
I mean, well, if I had to go and choose all of them,
Right.
But then again, you can't you have to sit there and watch it.
Sure. You could still just put it on in the background, maybe.
But the animations
Oh, thank you.
are that's the
Yeah.
creme de la creme.
I've been pushing them every episode. I've been doing them. I'm trying to get more and more. This last one was the best one so far to me.
Everyone gets better.
Yes,
That's good.
that's the hope. I'm actually thinking about next time I do it, just streaming it so people can if they're want to tune in and see how I'm doing it and get behind the scenes.
Are you streaming making it?
Yeah,
Nice.
I might as well. Because
It would be cool if people wanted to.
Yeah.
Maybe to in one of these episodes to record the whole how it gets made kind of thing.
Oh, that would be cool.
Put
Yeah.
a camera in this room and then just show us how
Yeah.
we get set up and
Yeah.
then go to you as well.
Yeah,
as an
just do
addition,
it.
not as a way to you can still stream it.
Right.
But also to put
just
together
like
a video
behind the scenes video. Yeah, I could do that. We've got the GoPro and stuff here in studio now. I could set something like that up and
There was one of my favorite angry video game nerd videos. Have you watched
Angry Video Game
Cinemassacre stuff? Yeah.
yeah, I've seen a few things. Yeah.
So James Rolfe is he's also a huge film person.
Mm-hmm.
He's so anyways, he's been doing Angry Video Game Nerd on the Cinemassacre channel on YouTube for it's been
A
15,
long time,
20
yeah.
years
since
something
YouTube was
crazy.
started.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so I've been watching for a long time, and I remember when I was driving, taking long trips across the country to go back home from college or something like that. I would put his stuff on to listen to,
Okay. Yeah.
and one of my favorite episodes was always the making of. He has a making of episode,
Right,
Where
yeah.
he takes it, he finds a random game. And he talks about his whole process, and he
that's
shows
cool.
you from behind while he's editing it and how he
goes about it.
yeah.
stuff.
And it's the most interesting thing. I find the making of or breaking things down
Right.
really interesting.
Yeah, that's one of my favorite parts because I'm a film nerd of getting a new Blu-ray or something. I love the the fact that you can get digital copy and save space and stuff, and you can just download now. But you kind of miss some of those bonus features that I think are really cool.
Mm-hmm.
Before I get into that, though, too, one other thing that you guys might notice is this episode we are not joined by TheInevitableGrey. Unfortunately, they had a scheduling conflict, and so they're not in studio with us today.
They are alive.
They are alive, though. They, as far as I know, haven't come down with a case of life.
Don't get that. It's
Don't
rough.
yeah, don't get life.
Life's rough.
Life is. But they will be back with us next time. If everything goes according to plan. So I'm sorry you're missing their wonderful voice.
People are going to tune in and be like, oh, this is one of those episodes
oh,
with
God,
just the
dude.
two of them?
Yeah.
It's like, you know how there's
numbers are gonna
sitcoms?
tank.
It's like, is this a Joey episode?
exactly. So behind the scenes features, as somebody who does film, when I was in film school, we actively sat down and watched them. And even before then, I kind of would go because I like to see how they did stuff. But after film school, I got this just really good really good. I got an appreciation for the behind the scenes content and listening to the director and watching things with director's commentary. Or my favorite thing to do, and I owe this to my cinematography teacher, professor. Which one's better, teacher or professor? You were a teacher, right?
I actually taught
Yeah.
at the collegiate level.
Yeah, so
while
what-
I was a TA or graduate assistant. I think that I was called professor,
Okay.
but I usually just had people call me by
Your name?
my name.
Okay. Isn't that a movie too? Call Me by Your Name.
Is it?
Yeah. Actually, I think it won some awards like last year.
Oh.
Yeah.
I've only seen one new movie, I think, recently.
Yeah.
I'm so just not even with it.
I get it.
But in terms of some people, okay, so there are some people that want you to call them doctor.
Right.
Or some people who want you to call them this or that.
Right.
They're very specific. Others don't feel like it's necessary.
Yeah.
As long as you just call me whatever, as long as you're respectful, I suppose.
Yeah, like all of my instructors in college were like, dude, we're on a first name basis.
Right.
Like, it was just like we're really relaxed or whatever. But then I like remember before I got to film school, like when I was in just like tech school and like I was going to community college, they were very picky about like, no, you call me by my last name or, you call me professor.
What state did you go?
Texas.
Texas, for everything?
Yeah.
Okay.
No. Film school was New Mexico.
So they wanted you to call them by their last name in
Texas.
Texas.
Yeah, in New Mexico, they didn't care.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
When I moved to Louisiana
Yeah.
to do my master's, there was a bit more of that sir, ma'am stuff going on.
Right.
There was also people who wanted to be called doctor, or it was a lot more formal. Is that the word?
Yeah. I would say formal.
In Louisiana. And I
That
think,
makes sense.
and I feel like that may be something that happens in Texas too. Whereas in where I was from in New York, it wasn't such a big deal.
Okay. Yeah.
It's really interesting.
That kind of makes sense. I mean, if you think about like just like I'm from the South, obviously. Like I was raised there, and like you were taught, if you don't know someone, it's yes sir, no sir, yes ma'am, no ma'am.
Right. It's like a respect thing.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
Respect your the people, the elders or something. I
Yeah,
don't know.
or your the
just
people who
respect
know
the
more. Yeah.
Yeah.
Or people you don't know.
And it's funny because people who are not from there don't always get that. They think that you're calling them old, or they think that you're that you're calling them something they don't want to be
associated with.
They don't want to be. That's not their
identifier.
That's not their identifier.
Right.
Yeah. But it's one of those things. It's like this is like it's like a traditional thing.
Right.
But it's not meant to call you something you don't want to be called. It's more so like a respect thing.
Yeah, it's like I don't know you, so this is what I'm going to call. If you tell me something different, I will call you that. Like correct me.
Yeah.
It's not like you don't take offense to it. It's like
so if you call somebody ma'am up north, they're like, I'm not old. But it's like down south, it's like that's a thing because you're just saying I respect you.
Yeah, like
so I always thought that was interesting. So I'm glad that I'm glad that I moved from New York to Louisiana, and I lived in Tennessee as well.
Right.
So I got
transition period.
Yeah. So I was able to kind of see all of that, so I can get that. That's the best thing about perspective.
Right.
Is that if you haven't been in those areas, you might think that somebody's trying to do something or call you something that you don't want to be called. And I mean, you can definitely, if somebody doesn't want to be called something, you should definitely.
Right. You call them by what you want. People want to be identified by.
Yeah. But it's just funny because it is that perspective of, I get it because I was there.
Yeah.
But that's interesting that you said that in Texas.
Yeah.
That they wanted to be called something specific, but more formal.
Right.
Whereas in New Mexico,
it was like.
It was just a little bit more laid back.
Yeah, and maybe that's just also because it was an art school. We had a lot of like, we had film, we had music, theater, creative writing, graphic design was starting to get, or I think they just called it like digital or whatever. It was all getting started up. So like it was just more of a relaxed environment overall. I have horror stories from college because I was an RA.
I think everybody has horror stories from college, right?
Yeah, I would hope so. If you don't walk out of college with at least one horror story, I don't think you did it right.
You want me to tell you a horror story from my
Yes, I do.
undergrad?
Oh, that would be amazing. Yes.
So I went to my undergrad in upstate Western New York.
Okay.
So my first semester I commuted because I was pretty close enough.
Okay.
But I hated it because I felt like I couldn't like focus because I wanted to be at school.
Yeah.
And so I dealt with it. I did what I could. And
it sucks.
It did suck. It was more money to go there, but I wanted to try and like be immersed in the whole thing. And I think undergrad is also a good thing as well for kind of getting that experience.
Yeah.
So my second semester I moved in.
Okay.
And I had a friend who was also in the same department as me. He had been living in the buildings where there was suites. So there was it was set up as.
Sorry. I know what you meant, but my brain just went. He moved into the building where there's candy.
Oh, just straight, just candy. It's just like it's literally like Charlie and the Chocolate Factory.
Like you moved into Candyland.
Yeah, and they had to take the boat.
Yes.
Down the Chocolate River.
Oh, to get to your dorm room?
Yeah.
That would be, that sucks so much.
Every day.
Yeah, you'd hate candy by the end of the Just like, dude, most people are supposed to hate pizza in college. Just hate candy, man.
I used to steal toilet paper. That's a different story, though. I'll tell you that later. So in the suites, they had suites, right? So there was 2 rooms for 2 people apiece.
Okay.
And then a bathroom. So in your little room area.
Yeah.
4 people, 2 rooms, and a bathroom.
Yeah, my first year in college was like that. Yeah.
So then the whole floor, and it was some floors were, I think, co-ed, others not.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You can pick where you want to go. Ours was co-ed.
Same.
So anyways, so his 3 other people just moved out the first semester. Either they didn't cut it, or they just did something. They moved somewhere else, whatever.
Yeah.
And I don't think it was because of him. It just happened to all randomly do that.
Happen, yeah.
So I was like, oh, that's great. Can I come and be in your suite?
Right.
And at first, he was like, I don't know, I got my own place and my own bathroom. And I was like, yeah, but if somebody else moves in, you might not know them.
Right.
And then eventually he was like, yeah, okay, let's do it. So I moved in, and for some reason, the second room was still locked off, and they hadn't opened it up to me yet. So him and I were in the same room.
Right.
But we had our own bathroom. So we shared our room. Mm-hmm. He was a very messy person.
Oh, yeah.
He had 1 cooking pot for not like drugs. He had a single pot, and he would smoke it.
Just the one though. He made it last 4 years. Oh my God, there's some people listening in a few states who are gonna be like, dude, I could save so much money if that were possible.
So he had a single cooking pot. It was big enough for like some pasta or some ramen. I used to say ramen because everybody loves ramen noodles.
Ah, come on.
I used to hate that show. Anyways, he had 1 single cooking pot, and he would basically he'd bring it back to his room, and he would put it on the floor, and then he would pile his dirty clothes up on it. So that when he wanted to cook, he had to pull the dirty clothes up off the cooking pot, grab it, and then go use it.
He didn't have a hamper or anything. He could just like put
No, they were always in a pile.
Oh my God.
Always in a pile.
Oh my God. Okay. No.
Finally, a few weeks into it, I was able to then go into the other room and have my own room.
Right.
And then I was freed. But he was always like, I would go to cook. He'd be like, hey, do you want to use my pot? And he'd be shuffling through the dirty clothes. I'm like, no. I'm good. Thank you. I'll get my own.
God. That's oh my God. So I also have a pot story. Cooking pot story. I have an actual pot story, but maybe later. From college, ironically. But yeah, no, so I had, like I said, I was an RA.
Yeah.
Right? And my first year in film school, I was just regular student. I had a co-ed dorm, just like, it was like, one side of the hallway was the dudes, one side was the ladies.
The dudettes.
The dudettes. That's the word I was looking for. Yeah. And it was like 2 floors, and they were both the same. And then it was the same way. Like you had 2 people in a room, and then there was a shared bathroom in the middle, and each room had their own like sink and stuff, right? Which was awesome. It was an entire hallway like that. And then like that, and that was my first, and it was awesome. My roommate and I were cool. We weren't like friends, but we were like, like I can tolerate you. You don't drive me crazy.
You dealt with each other.
Yeah, and as long as we didn't like encroach on each other's space, we were fine. But then when I became an RA, they actually put me, because I was over 21, they put me in the apartments, which were like full on. You had 2 bedrooms, each with their own bathroom, and then you had a shared like living room, kitchen space, which was
nice,
amazing for the first like 2 months I had it.
Right.
because I was there. I was in that old dorm when I first became an RA because we did this thing called Art Fest, where like students from all over the world, like sister schools, came in, which was really cool. And I had my own like little ensuite, kind of like you did. And then they moved me over there, and I got like a month with nobody else, nobody in the apartments. I was just getting everything ready for the students. It was cool. And then my roommate showed up. So yes. So the thing about the apartments was if you were over 21, you could have alcohol. Which was cool. Well, I got paired because I was the RA with like the one person who wasn't 21, but his family had paid enough, I think, for him to be in the apartments. So I'm like, well, there goes my alcohol, first of all, which I'm not much of a drinker.
And that privilege.
Yeah, but it was just like, all right, now that I can't have it, I really want it.
Right.
And then it was fine. Like I'd already decorated everything, and I was like, dude, feel free to add anything you want. Like I'm super chill. My whole thing about like as an RA was like, if you don't give me a reason to come and bust you for something, I'm not going to do it. You guys are adults. I don't care. Everybody always gave me a reason. Like I got calls every other night for like, hey, there's a party going on. Can you go shut it down? And I'm like, oh, I'm trying to sleep. It's 4 a.m., and I have class in the morning. Well, all of that was compounded by the fact that my roommate was also messy. Or my suite mate, I should say. My flatmate, as you would say in England.
I think you can call it a roommate, even if in an apartment, right?
Yeah, I think so.
I think you should call it a roommate.
Yeah, because I had brought all this cooking stuff with me because I'm like, oh, I basically have my own place. It's freaking amazing.
Yeah.
And I'd invested in some things, and it wasn't like great cookware or anything, but it was decent. It would get me through like when I graduated. It could start me off. And he liked to cook beans.
What kind of beans?
Like just like refried beans.
Refried beans?
Yeah.
Black beans, kidney beans, navy beans?
Yeah, but specifically refried.
Oh, okay.
And we didn't have a dishwasher because they, none of them did. It was just like,
That's a mistake.
Yeah.
Can I just point out something out?
That is a real
Not
mistake.
putting dishwashers in a college apartment is a huge mistake.
Yeah.
That seems like you're going to have people who are just messy or don't have time or lazy.
Bingo.
And it's so much simpler.
Right.
To just throw in a dishwasher.
I constantly had to get onto him because I was like, dude, we're getting bugs because you keep leaving this pot.
That's gross.
Of washed beans in our sink.
Oh!
In our sink to the point where I was like, dude, I can smell. I had the room farthest from like the kitchen area.
Yeah.
And I was like, dude, I can smell beans in my room. And
I smell the beans from the other room.
Yeah,
That's
and I'm
disgusting.
like, dude, it's my stuff.
Yeah.
I said you could use it as long as you're respectful and you take care of it.
Right.
You're obviously not.
Right.
And he the one thing he ever did was just like poured some water in it from the sink and let it soak. And I was like, that's not. What are you doing?
I do that for like 5 minutes before I clean it sometimes,
right,
but I like...
If my dishwasher is full because it's running or I haven't had a chance to clean it before, out before I go to bed, I will let like one pot maybe sit and soak overnight.
Yeah.
But that's it. But
that was his 4
weeks.
He was
4 weeks. I refused to clean it. I left him notes. I did everything I could because I was just like...
This is his first time being out on his own.
I guess.
Not having a parent clean up.
He and his girlfriend were just always in the room, and I'm like, I know what you're doing. I don't care.
Is his girlfand messy too?
Not.
Or she just probably didn't. She just came in and did her thing and left.
Yeah, like they just hung out.
And stuff. Yeah. They hung out.
They hung out, and I'm pretty sure once or twice smoked some weed, but
so there was that pot. So there was the messy pot, and there was
and
that
then there was
pot.
other pot. But they were.
Is this the pot episode?
I guess. Hey, I just found the thumbnail.
There you go.
Just a green wave over.
So he puts water in there. It's the magical cleaner.
Not even soap, just water.
What? Everybody knows if you're gonna soak it, you gotta put some soap in there.
I literally put a thing of soap, like a big bottle of like Dial dish soap, with a thing that said "Use me," like a sticky note on it. I put sticky notes everywhere, like on the fridge handle. Yeah. Like, hey, clean the stuff, please. It got to the point.
You had like an arm with a knife that said "Clean now."
I wish I could have done that. like, just dude, come on. He luckily wasn't able to be there for much longer. He only lasted a semester in.
Did he
in the
disappear?
apartment.
Just nobody knew where he went. He was gone.
No, he got moved back to the dorms.
Oh.
Yeah, because he just like we had a mediation and everything. Like I brought my boss in, like
Because of the messy.
Yeah, because I was like, dude, I can't handle this, and I've got all this other crap, and maybe I wasn't the best about it at times. Like I got upset about it and angry, but
it's not your responsibility to teach another
human
kid
how to.
I mean, if he's so I would assume not only because of like the older kids are probably going to be maybe more mature on average,
right?
So it's like they have the responsibility of getting an apartment, right, and that's probably why there's a bit of a cutoff, right? They've already been through some years of college, they've kind of lived some life, so they kind of get it.
Yeah, they've been on their own for like a year.
But this kid was like.
He's like
brought in because
18,
he had some
19
extra
years
money.
old, yeah,
right,
or something like that.
So he didn't have the maturity. He's somebody that needed to go through those years, probably,
and
then was like given this great opportunity of this privilege of like, hey, you can go in there early,
and
then basically ruined your life for 4
months. Like the one thing he had was like, oh, you have to like live with the RA, which cool, bummer, that sucks. It's not like I made freaking breakfast burritos at 2 a.m. one night because I got off work. Some of the other RAs were walking by like every night. You had to do 2 rounds, like twice a night or something like that. And they were walking by as I was walking back into my apartment, and I'm dressed in a Pikachu onesie, first of all.
Nice.
Because we were doing a movie night at like they did the anime movie club at our big movie theater that we had.
Anime movie club.
Yep. And
there it is.
Their first night was I ran a couple of clubs there. But that one I just helped because I was working at the theater I had 3 jobs while I was in college plus school.
That's a lot.
Yeah. They were on campus jobs, but I needed them because I just wasn't getting income. Luckily, my room and board was paid for by being an RA, but
that's nice.
Yeah, there was trade-offs for sure. But they were like walking back, and I was like, oh, they did Pokemon the movie 2000 or whatever.
Oh
like
my
the
God.
original like movie.
That movie.
And like
is this an anime?
Technically, yeah.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh, I guess so. I always thought Avatar: The Last Airbender was an anime. It's not.
No, it's an American cartoon inspired by anime, though.
Is it an American cartoon?
Yep.
I didn't know that.
And there's some drama around that show again. They had that awful movie, but now the show, there's a whole thing with Netflix right now going on.
My first, just totally sidebar, my first experience with Avatar: The Last Airbender was the live action movie.
I'm sorry. That
was the only, I never even really heard. I thought we were going to go see Avatar.
Right. And then you went to see The Last Airbender.
And then, and I was like, oh, okay, this is interesting. And then it was over and I was like, what?
There's so much wrong with that movie. That's a whole episode.
You know what I do to screw with people?
What?
I tell them that the movie was way better.
Oh my God. You're the worst kind of person.
This show. Anyways, so sorry. You came back in your Pikachu outfit to make breakfast burritos.
Yeah, and I was just like, I just bought bacon because I'd gone to the store and stuff. And like, the school food was okay, but I like had my own kitchen. I was like, I'm making some money. I want to like have some food.
Yeah.
And like they come walking around the corner. I've got my key like in the door. I haven't even unlocked it yet. And they come around and they go, what is going on? And I'm like, you guys want some breakfast burritos? Because I was just like hungry.
Yeah.
And like the cafeteria and stuff were closed. We didn't have a school store yet. Like that didn't come for like another year. So you couldn't like go in at like midnight and go get like snacks or whatever.
Oh.
Yeah.
There's school stores? Like, I don't even know if I had one.
I don't know.
We were close to some grocery stores, but anyways, go ahead.
Yeah, we were not. It was like a mile and a half to like Walmart that was open 24/7, and most kids didn't have cars. I was lucky.
Right.
But yeah, and so they come around and I was like, I'm gonna make breakfast burritos. You want some? And they're like, what are you putting in it? And I go, eggs and bacon. And one of them just goes, you had me at bacon. And they came back like 20 minutes later after they were done, and the 3 of us just sat in my living room eating breakfast burritos, watching Netflix for like an hour.
Nice.
And I'm
2
like,
a.m.
yeah, and I'm just like, that's how like relaxed it was. Like that's the environment. If you would have just cleaned your dang dishes, you could have hung out with us. It was Friday night or Saturday night. Like we didn't have anything to do. brunch starts at 10. Like we didn't have breakfast. We had brunch that went from like 10 to like 1 or 2.
Right.
Sleep in. Go get yourself some pancakes in the morning. I don't care. But couldn't handle that. Then, like, after the next semester, I ended up getting moved to an apartment all by myself because I got promoted to the hall director. So I got, like...
Nice.
I got, like, my own...
So from RA to hall director.
Yeah.
Nice.
I got my own living room / kitchen area.
Yep.
Its own separate bedroom and, like, bathroom. Like, I had a full closet. It was...
Did you get a sash or a belt buckle of some kind?
No, I got depression and addicted to cigarettes even more than I already was.
There you go.
Yeah, so
there you go.
That was my badge of honor.
So that was, there you go.
Yeah.
Perfect.
I smoked a lot when I was in college. I started smoking when I was 16. And
Really?
Yeah, and then I quit just after college.
Yeah.
Like when I was around 23, like when I first moved up here, mainly because I had to move back in with my family because they moved up here and it was just cheaper to do that. But yeah, it was like...
Sometimes it's easy in those situations because if you're around other people that smoked, which I assume that you probably were.
In art school, yeah.
Yeah, so there's people that do it, or then, it becomes a part of your day to, like, go out to the area with, like, hey, we're on the way over, you want to go grab a smoke or something like that.
Yeah, and
it's so easy because it becomes part of your routine.
Yeah.
That sometimes just moving yourself out of that location into a new one.
Yeah.
Especially, but you said you had, you want to do it around your parents or whatever, too. So
yeah.
That also.
Yeah, because, I mean, they didn't know. I think they knew, but they never said they knew. So
I feel like people do know because you can't ever smell it, but other people can, kind of thing.
When I was in Texas, I had an excuse because it was like, oh, everyone smokes, and I don't care if people smoke in my car. And
everybody in Nashville did too. I felt like
I feel
like everybody did.
It's a very common problem. Don't smoke, people. Just don't. It's bad for you. As a former smoker, I'm much better off. I'm healthier now because of it.
I usually don't really care what other people do.
Right.
I'm going to do my thing.
Yeah, I get it.
Although, sometimes if it's, as long as you're doing your thing and you're where you're supposed to be and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, if you're not hurting anybody else.
If you want to do it, I don't care. I'm not going to judge you.
Right. I'm just, as somebody who quit, I'm like, if I could, if my advice.
You can impart your knowledge on others.
If anybody, like, takes anything I have, like, with, like, whatever, like they want my opinion is you should quit if you can. Like but it's everybody's thing. Like, you got your stuff. I'm not judging you if you smoke. I just, again, me personally, I gained some weight after I quit because it's a common thing.
Yep.
Like I basically replaced it with food.
Mm-hmm.
But then like after I figured that out and I started like watching it, I dropped that weight down and I just feel better. Like I started like I can actually run again. Like I ran a marathon when I was 18.
Wow.
I ran the Oklahoma City Marathon. I was in the 10-year anniversary of the marathon. It's for the Oklahoma City bombing. Mm-hmm. That's why I have this tattoo.
I didn't know you had a tattoo.
I have two.
Wow.
Yeah. I have. Unfortunately, I'm lopsided with my tattoos.
Uh-huh.
Like I see your tattoos like occasionally. It's like you've got them kind of balanced all over your body.
Yeah.
Mine are all on my right side.
Right.
I have one on my shoulder and one on my ankle.
You gotta start filling it out.
Yeah, I just can't afford one on my left side yet. But I have one I want to do.
I tell you what, I'll give you a deal.
Yeah.
I've got a pen.
No.
I got a blue like Bic
every
pen.
time we talk about tattoos,
and you just gotta like.
You just really want to do that.
Just a quick stabby step, and you just like just tell me what you want, and I'll just do it. I've had enough that I feel like I could do it. Pretty reliably.
I'm
not a great speller without spell check though. So whatever you hand
luckily
to me.
I don't want words. So we're good. But I have here's the thing. If we ever get 50,000 subscribers on
Don't say these words. I'm going to tell you right now. Do you know why I have tattoos? Some of these tattoos?
Because
I said those words.
Well,
I've said those words.
I'm going to do it.
The reason why I have a tattoo of myself wearing a onesie, a penguin onesie, is because I said those words.
Okay, well, how about this?
I thought it would never happen. I thought I would never get a number of the number of subscribers.
Okay, so maybe
on
I
my
should
Twitch
raise
channel.
It. Yeah.
And then it happened that day.
Oh God.
And I was like, well, I guess I got to do it now because I can't not.
Maybe. No. Well, how about this? I'm gonna.
Don't challenge people on the internet. First of all, and second of all, never you'll think it's too high, but really, it is not high enough.
What about 1 million?
You're the ones getting a tattoo?
Okay, here's the deal.
You just said the word "we" as if this now includes both of us.
No, because it does. No, you're not getting a tattoo. If we ever get 1 million subscribers on our YouTube channel, and that lasts for like a month, like 1 million subscribers for at least a month on our YouTube channel, then I will let you design a tattoo and get it put on my body.
Okay.
I get to pick the spot.
Do you know the person, my friend Jesse, who did the theme song for us?
Right. Yes. Thank you again.
Do you know that that he actually made this tattoo?
Oh, that's adorable.
That I'm showing that you guys can't see.
It's the little box guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's adorable. Actually, the one on my ankle. So I have on my right arm. I have a 26.2 OKC. It's the length of the marathon, and then where
I thought it was 27.
Close enough. It's 26.2. Yeah, it's the length of an official marathon.
Is it 26.2?
Yeah.
Oh, for some reason I thought it was 27.
And then like 13 is like a half marathon, and then like a triathlon. Yeah. I actually need to get this one touched up because it's very faded. It's it's over 10 years old now. Time flies. And then on my right ankle, I have It actually didn't hurt as much as I thought it was going to.
Okay.
But I had an amazing tattoo artist.
Okay.
So this one I got
I stretched my shirt by pulling it down.
Yeah.
And I'm now going to be self-conscious about my shirt.
It looks okay. It does. As you bundle
I'm covering up so you can't see my stretched out shirt.
It doesn't look stretched out. Well, on my right arm, I got that one when I was in Austin. At I can't even remember the name, but it was on 6th Street. Ironically, we walked onto 6th Street in the middle of South by Southwest, and we had no idea it was going on. It was just like, okay, we were coming down here to get it anyway. Yeah, here we go, cool, awesome. Let's try not to get run over by drunk people. I wish we could have stayed longer, but on my right ankle, I have a proton pack from that my buddy Nate drew.
Does busting make you feel good?
It does. So it's actually a really cute story. So it was his birthday present. Is we got matching tattoos.
Yep.
I say matching in air quotes because what it was is we drew each other's tattoo.
Yep.
So the way we met was on set of a short film, and it was a Halloween themed short film. And I was also in Rocky Horror at the same time.
Yep.
So my outfit for Rocky Horror was I was playing Magenta. So it was a French maid with a red wig and everything.
Wow.
And these giant go-go boots. I rocked these go-go boots. I'm gonna just say that. But I was like, well, I don't have enough money to go get another costume for this thing. And we're doing kind of like a Scooby-Doo parody. It was a mess of a film. Even the director and writer was like, yeah, this is nuts. But that's how Nate and I met. I was the Shaggy character. He was the Scooby character.
Yep.
And when we went and changed into our Halloween costumes, I was a French maid and he was a Ghostbuster. And he had built a custom proton pack that weighed 30 pounds.
Wow.
And he actually fell over at one point. And the best part of the entire film is we filmed him after he fell over and he legitimately couldn't get up. It was so heavy.
It was like a turtle.
Yeah, and he's just swatting around and he's yelling his lines at everybody. And it's made even funnier by the fact that he is he's scrambling trying to get up.
Right.
And we became just best friends after that. He's down south still, and I can't wait to go back and see him. But I went down for a road trip down to see him and stay for a week for his birthday because we hadn't seen each other in a year. And I was like, dude, we should do something. We should get tattoos. And so I paid for us to do it. And he drew a proton pack and I drew a feather duster. And his has a J on the feather duster and I have an N on in the proton pack and one of the little bubbles. You're
connected
via
tattoo.
Yeah, and it's
nice.
Amazing. And that is something I will always do. I'm always down for tattoos, and if they have a great story behind them, I will happily do it. So if you and I get 1 million subscribers and that lasts a month, I will gladly let you design me a tattoo.
Oh boy.
Because
I got some pretty good ones. I got a good track record.
Yeah.
I got some good stuff. I got penguins.
Right.
I have a box man.
A box man, yeah.
I have This one is artwork by Brandon Boyd, who's the lead
Brandon
singer
Boyd.
of Incubus.
Oh, nice.
He used to do like these really cool, like almost like I don't know, they tribal. There were these crop circle kind of cool, almost tribal design kind of thing. I don't know if it's tribal, but it's
but not actually tribal.
Yeah,
It's like
yeah.
tribal inspired.
yeah, a little bit like that. It's
Okay.
it's really cool design. I liked it. I was a big Incubus fan. I mean, I've always been a big Incubus fan. I love
Yeah.
the guitar player was really awesome. He did
Nice.
really cool effects and everything like that
Yeah.
as a single guitar player. Kind of like Tom Morello from Rage Against the Machine. He does a lot of those really neat effects, but he does it by himself.
yeah.
It's really, really cool because it's not just guitar playing, but it's also like the whole package of the sounds that you do.
Right.
So I was a big Incubus fan, and I found some of these designs, and I was like, this is really cool.
Nice.
So that was my one of my tattoos. The other one is like a fire dancer from the Dave Matthews Fire
Oh, okay,
Dancer.
yeah.
I was a big Dave Matthews fan. When I started playing guitar, that was one of the bands that I found to play along with because he
that's
plays
cool.
some really cool guitar stuff. Like the
Yeah.
guitar parts are fun. So I have like these. I guess everyone has like a little connection or like a story, I suppose.
I think that's the best way to do it. Like, again, like if you want a tattoo and you have the means and you're in the right state of mind, go get one. Like if you want, I'm not going to judge you for getting a tattoo or call your tattoos dumb. Unless you have a tattoo of a cat's butt on you. I've seen that. Somebody had the back of a cat, like in their belly button was
Their
the
belly
butt.
button was a cat butt.
Yep.
Nice.
Yep. It's disgusting. I'll judge you a little bit for
I
that
mean,
one.
you know what you just do.
It's
You gotta
their
do. You gotta
thing,
do.
yeah, you know.
Sometimes you need a cat's butt on your belly button because that
guess.
makes you feel good.
I mean,
You know, busting makes you feel good. Cat butts make other people feel good.
Yeah, well, I don't just but I might judge you a little bit for that. If it feels good though, whatever. But if you want a tattoo, I always like to think that you should have something behind it, like a story or whatever. Like mine both do. Every tattoo that I have planned has something. Even this one, because obviously this is something we did together. It's commemorative. And I think it's always fun to tell people like about your tattoos, like,
Yep.
and it's just
I always feel weird because like somebody out in public that I'm talking to, or if they're like somebody who's like behind the counter is checking me out or something like that. They're not checking me out. They're checking my products out. They're not checking me out.
no, they are.
I mean,
You're a very handsome person.
I don't know
They're just
if I
like,
could tell.
Yeah.
I've been told people have been checking me out.
I'm the same way. Like I'm oblivious.
Yes.
Like I can see when it's happening to other people.
Yeah.
But I'm oblivious. There's only one time in recent memory that I could think of that I was like, oh.
Like you picked up on the checking out.
Yeah, and that was actually like a week or two ago at QFC.
Yeah. So I don't know. I probably have, but I don't know.
Right.
So I could be. Anyways, if somebody has a tattoo and I think it's a cool tattoo, I always feel weird about asking because I feel like some people might take it like weird or strange. But I just
Sure.
want to be like, oh, that's a really neat tattoo or that's a really cool tattoo.
Yeah.
But I always try to just like not bring anything up because I don't know if people get like not offended, but they get weirded out.
Right.
You know, but I'm like, sometimes I want to just be like, really cool tattoo,
Yeah.
not in a creepy way. Like, you want to come back to my place and show us some tattoo? Like, I want to be like, I want to
always-
have my tattoo showing some, like, I'm a tattoo guy.
Right.
I appreciate tattoo.
I always do. I have.
I'm
like
going to wait for you after you get out. What time do you get done? Are you done at 8 o'clock? I want to see, could you show me your tattoo?
Show me all your tattoos. No,
It's not like that. I just want to say that's a cool tattoo.
Darkosto has a fetish. No, I always have the line of like, oh, dude, your tattoo's awesome. Do you mind if I ask where you got it?
Yeah.
I add that qualifier because to me it feels like it eases you into like the conversation more. But I legitimately always am looking for a place to get my next tattoo.
Yeah.
Like I want to know artists and stuff, and I feel
I
like
got a guy.
Yeah.
I got a tattoo guy.
Is it you with a pen?
Maybe.
Okay.
It might be. Yeah, it is. Yeah.
By the way, I'm clarifying right now that 1 million subscribers thing. It's not Darkosto.
What if I
giving
get
me a-
certified and I have the proper sanitized tools?
If that's the case, and you show me some artwork,
I gotta get. What do you gotta have to get like an apprenticeship?
yeah, I think you have to have
I gotta do
somebody
it like a pig skin.
not
a football.
orange.
In orange?
You can practice on. I think you practice on oranges, then pig, and then you can go human, which is a weird weird
that
thing
only
to
is a
say.
that's the only transition that can only happen in tattoos.
Yeah.
Orange, pig, human.
Yep. Because apparently oranges and human are close. I think it's like the skin.
Are they?
I think it's the skin of an orange is permeable enough that you can actually like get through it without damaging it, and like it'll actually like is receptive to the ink.
I don't know, because I can't sometimes get that orange peel off.
That's because you have dainty little hands.
I don't have dainty hands. I feel like if I was going to take your skin off.
Please don't. Oh my God, I'm moving away from the microphone because he like just.
I don't know.
He like clawed at me. I've got my coffee and I'm shaking.
Are they that close? Is this a thing? Oranges
I've
are
always
close
heard-
enough, so that's why they use it? I didn't know oranges were even a thing.
Yeah, I've heard people practice. Maybe it's only home tattooists who do it, like people learning at home. But yeah, like I've heard stories of people who are like, yeah, no, I'm learning and I'm practicing on oranges at home or something like that. And it's because like if you think of most fruits and stuff, they're either too soft or too hard. But like an orange is kind of like in the middle.
You know what we need to do?
What's that?
We need to create a synthetic skin that can be wiped away when it's done, so you can just continuously tattoo on it.
And then,
it's like human,
right? But you're not having to like.
You have to keep throwing it away.
Yeah,
you just wipe it off, like those pillowcases.
Yeah.
That when you rub it one way, it shows this picture, and you rub it the other way, and it has the other color or something.
Right. It's like an Etch-a-Sketch for skin.
Yeah.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
There it is.
I'm
an idea guy.
Yeah, that's our idea. That is trademark the Roasto.
That's ours.
Yeah, don't steal that, please. Unless you're an investor and you want to give us money. Yes. Shark Tank.
That might be a thing. Is it a thing?
I think so. Maybe. I don't know.
It could be a thing.
It could be. But if it's not.
One-time use is probably a thing.
Probably.
Ours is multi-use.
Well, I know they have second skin, which they're using in the tattoo industry now. Which is
kind of like that.
Yeah, except it's a bandage. They use it in the medical field, and then it got in after it like proved that it was good there. Like they started using it in tattoo shops, so you don't have to have like a bandage that you have to replace, or you don't have to be as like.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you don't
kind
have
of
to
fuse or something like that, and it helps.
Yeah, it's like just a
process.
clear thing,
Yeah.
and so you can actually like shower, and you don't have to worry too much about the ink running or anything like that. And
I've
it
seen
lasts
those.
for like a week, and then it just naturally dissolves, which is really cool. And then like they use it for like wounds and stuff in hospitals. Like they still obviously put gauze on in hospitals, but it like helps just keep it clean.
Yeah. It's really tight too.
Yeah, like just like adheres to you, and like I think it's amazing. But you can't like draw on it or anything like that or do anything.
Oh, okay.
It's an after.
So we potentially, based on our own memories, could have a new product here.
Yes, and if nobody else has done that, it's ours.
Yes.
And if you are an investor and you want, then
I won't find you to, if you're an investor.
Yeah.
I want you to find me and invest.
Have to, yes.
But if you're going to steal my idea, I will find you.
You have a PO box. Like you just send your inquiries to Darko's PO box. You can get it on your Twitch channel, right?
Yeah.
Okay, there you go.
It's like some address.
Yeah.
There's some numbers in there.
I don't remember it off the top of my head, even though I'm the one who checks it. Yeah, that's right. Look behind the curtain, guys. I check Darkosto's mail, at least for what comes into the office. So,
and if you were every time some package comes in that's not mine, I'm always like nosy about like what could it be.
Yeah,
yeah. I was like want to know what people are getting because I don't want to be in your business, but I'm just so excited about things coming in that I'd be like, oh, I wonder what this is.
Right. I used that's something that happens to me. Like, do you remember malls? Those used to be a thing. Right?
Malls?
Yeah, like
Darth Mall?
No, like shopping malls.
Oh, shopping malls.
Yeah, those used to be a thing. Like you could go there and shop at a bunch of stores without having to travel a bunch of places.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that's something that the world is kind of missing right now, I think. But I am always the worst about that when I'm at a shopping mall. Like I see people like walking and I'm like, even if I'm like just going into like, there's a store called Box Lunch which has a bunch of nerdy stuff.
Box Lunch.
Yeah, it's kind of like, have you ever been to a Think Geek?
I didn't. Wait, do they have a physical store?
Think Geek has a couple of stores in this area.
I didn't know that. I thought there was only. Wait, they're not around anymore though.
Think Geek?
I think didn't they shut down?
Did they? You're gonna have to look that up. But
I'm gonna look this up right now.
they had at least 3 or 4 physical locations here in this area.
That I didn't know. That's pretty cool. Okay.
And I love their
So
stores.
it's like one of those like little knick-knack electronic kind of techie kind of stores, whatever.
Well,
like
I was gonna say
geeky kind of like all kinds of stuff and
Think Geek is, but Box Lunch is like the same thing, but for more Disney and anime and cartoons rather than just like video games and stuff. Like they have like a whole Disney section where it's like Lilo and Stitch or Nightmare Before Christmas,
right?
Which I hate that Nightmare Before Christmas is owned by Disney now. That's a whole thing though. And then they also have like the Avengers and like just it's also a lot more like clothing oriented with knickknacks put in, rather than knickknacks with a few clothing things. Like Think Geek.
Think Geek announced in 2019, in June of 2019, that it would be closing its online store. Mm-hmm. And it was bought it's owned by GameStop. Wow.
Think Geek was so cool. Oh my God, that sucks. My day's ruined. I'm going home.
So here's something that really bothers me though.
Yeah.
So I'm not a huge Harry Potter fan. I've only actually recently saw all the Harry Potter movies like a few years ago. Mm-hmm. They're pretty cool. I've not read the books.
Midnight showing. Every movie but the first one.
Wow. I've not read the books. I heard the books are pretty good.
Yeah. They
I heard the first book was not great, but then they got better after that, is what I've been told.
They do. And I think there's problems. If you look back at them with today's lens, there's definitely problems. But if you look at it from a young adult perspective.
Right. I get that. There's a lot of things like that, I think.
Yeah, we've talked about that before.
Yeah, sometimes, it's just like a product of the time. But they're neat.
Yeah,
they get real, like, more mature and dark in the last few.
As you grew up. Like, I grew up with those books. Like, as I grew up, they aged with me, which was really nice.
Yeah.
And in a sense, so did the movies.
Yeah. I thought Voldemort was just like a really interesting character.
Yeah. I think he has a lot to him. I think there's more that could have been done.
Yeah. I wish that there was like an extended edition that kind of filled it out more.
Right. And so I really like they've done a lot of like backpedaling and changing as they've gotten older, which a lot of people don't like, myself included. But I think they could have, rather than backpedaling, they could have just like, hey, now we're gonna put out a book about in the same universe, following the same story, but about Voldemort, like his childhood and stuff. Like it could have been really cool.
There's so before I wanted to get to the thinking thing, but that reminds me that you talk about a book about Voldemort. Really, there's a fan made Lord of the Rings or Middle Earth, so fan made book in the Middle Earth universe,
right?
That is told from the perspective of Sauron and Mordor.
What?
As being this up-and-coming industrial nation that was just trying to, like, do its thing, and all of these jerks just come in and just start trying to,
Dude, we have a ring-based economy. Right. It's so amazing.
Yeah, and it's I think it was originally written in Russian. It's translated. You can find it. I don't think it's obviously not like officially recognized,
right?
But it's like this different perspective.
Oh my God, that's amazing! I love when like people do that.
Yeah, like, it's long and it's like
it's like a full thing.
Yeah, and it's it's so interesting because it's like these jerks just come in.
I just imagine like Sauron just like coming down from the tower as an eye, like he's just like in his little bottom part of the tower or whatever, he's like just drawing a bath and he's like, oh my God, these guys, just stressed out.
Yeah. They just want to need land. They're trying to expand and get room for their people just like everybody else
just like Gondor, just like everybody else. Yeah. Oh my God, that's great. I'll have to find this.
Well, I can't remember the name of it, but it's easy to find. If you Google if you Google it, you can find it.
If you know what it is, email it to us.
Yes,
that would be great.
So
the
Think Geek thing that bothers me is that, the reason I brought up Harry Potter is because Ash he's a huge Harry Potter fan. She loves Harry Potter. And a few years ago, they had come out with these Quidditch lamps. They're like a table side lamp, but they have these little circular shades.
Are they like the quaffle and like the balls and stuff that, or are they like?
No, it's just these two round shades, and then
Okay.
one's a bit bigger over it, and they have
Okay.
four houses. They have the four house
The insignia?
insignia and all that. So
Okay.
like there's a Hufflepuff one, there's a Gryffindor one, Slytherin, and
Ravenclaw.
yeah. Does anybody? I feel like even Ravenclaw forgets that they exist. Anyways,
We're gonna get some angry comments from Ravenclaws out there.
so I bought two. I bought the I bought the Hufflepuff and the Gryffindor when
Okay.
they first came out,
Right.
and so I had those two.
Right.
By the time I went back to buy them, they were all out of stock. I managed later on to pick up the Slytherin lamp. I need the Ravenclaw Quidditch lamp to finish my set, and I cannot locate one.
If you know, this is new
I will
mission.
pay. These were like $20 or $30 maybe, I think. I'd have to go back, but they
Right.
weren't that expensive.
Okay.
I would pay upwards of $150 for this
Ooh,
lamp.
okay, that's
just to complete my set.
Are you a completionist when you game?
No.
Oh, so
but I
this-
want this freaking lamp. And it's very. There's a specific type, but they're called. Is it Quidditch lamp?
Quidditch lamp. There's so many things. Like when you say that.
Okay, here it is.
Okay.
I will show you a picture.
All right.
They're the Harry Potter Quidditch Collector's Table Lamp.
Oh.
I
okay.
have three.
Yeah.
I need Ravenclaw.
Okay, so it's like a larger shade with a smaller shade.
Yep.
And like they're just themed after the Quidditch teams.
Yep.
Okay. Sorry. Like the rounded thing in my head, I was like, oh, maybe it's like the goalpost. But no. Okay, this is much more like I could see this in a home.
Yeah,
and it
they're
being-
just like it's almost like a normal lamp. You
it's
can put it in,
themed.
but it's
Yeah.
themed as Harry Potter Quidditch.
And
Yeah,
you just need the Ravenclaw.
I need Ravenclaw.
Okay.
I need it. I'm
right, if you
calling
were out
out
there-
for help.
Yeah, if you are out there and you have this Ravenclaw lamp,
If it's
hit
in
up-
good shape,
yeah.
I will pay money.
Okay, find Darkosto's PO box.
I've looked
on his
everywhere.
Twitch channel.
I've looked everywhere.
Yeah. God. Yeah.
And every few weeks I remember it.
Yeah.
And I go to check, can't find it.
Dang. No. But going back to Think Geek and Box Lunch and all that is yeah, I'm the worst about like that, like wanting to know.
Right.
Like I would go like to Box Lunch because this was my favorite like store in the Think Geek and Box Lunch were my favorite stores in the mall that I lived by, and I'd go maybe like once every other month or something like that. I wasn't like a mall rat. I didn't like I gotta go to the mall. It's just
Right.
like I'm bored. I have like a little extra money. Maybe I can go pick up something nerdy for my office or a new shirt or something.
Yeah. They always got like their stuff is always cool too. Like it's just
Yeah.
cool little fun little knickknacks.
Yeah, I mean my Captain Marvel shirt that I got from Think Geek, and I love it. It's the best one I've ever seen. Like
Yeah.
I love the art style of all these cool things. But like I would walk through the mall, and I just like sometimes Inevitable Grey would be with me. Sometimes it'd be by myself or whatever. Just walking through the mall or whatever, and then I'd look over.
Then you're
and
walking to the mall stance.
Yeah,
You're like
just-
swing your shoulders.
just I'm all happy, and I'm walking through the mall, and then like I look over and I'm like, oh, what do you have? But like inevitably, like the one that the worst offender about making me, and I think this goes for a lot of people too. The one, if you're walking in a mall and you see that gaudy pink Victoria's Secret bag,
yeah.
that like even if it's tiny, the bigger it is, the more I'm like, wait, what? And I'm like you can't just go like, what'd you get? Like you can't do that. But I'm just like,
You want to know what people filled their huge Victoria's Secret bag with?
well, no, I don't care. Like
You're nosy, but you don't care.
Yeah,
You
like
don't want to know, but you really want to know what's in there.
Yeah, like it's just I'm sitting there going like it's because it like that bag just draws your attention.
Well,
Like
that's good. That's why.
yeah,
it
that's
exists.
what it's for. But I'm just like,
Well,
I don't want to know
all
what
the
people
things
are
from
wearing.
Victoria's Secret are these little tiny little dainty things. So
Yeah.
it's like, so if you have a huge bag,
You're like, what?
how many pairs of drawers did you buy?
exactly? Or like but like and that's just one example. I do that with everything. Like people coming out with like Aeropostale or like one of the big ones that always gets me too is Express. I see an Express bag and I'm like, ooh, you've got something good in there. Because like I like Express clothing. I don't necessarily like Express as a company, but they have some good stuff. You know, like they've got some nice suits and stuff, and I'm just like, ooh, like what did you get? Because if somebody got it, maybe I'm more inclined to go get it. Because I'm like, it works for
marketing.
somebody. Yeah, Zara too. I used to have a pair of joggers from Zara. Oh my God, I never would have walked in that store without having seen the bag and being like, huh. Like, because it's one of those stores that's like so nondescript that I just walk right by it, but then I see the bag and the bag is like nice, and I'm like, oh, that looks pretty high end. And then I see the store and I'm like, oh, it is high end. Let me go in there and get something.
That's why the shopping mall could do that. That's why they had the bags.
Exactly.
And now it's totally different with online and all that. You have to.
You don't get to be nosy anymore.
Right. You don't know what anybody's getting. You can walk up and down your street and
see
be like,
all these Amazon packages, and
hey,
you're
what's
like,
that box?
Yeah.
You can wait at somebody they take their box into their house. What do you got there?
Yeah.
Can you open it for me?
Yeah, exactly. Can I see, please? Oh, you got something from Annie Ann's? Okay, yeah, some pretzels.
Like,
nice.
See, like I don't like necessarily. I'm not a big fan of getting gifts. Mm-hmm. You know, I don't need gifts. I just really like to see stuff that other people open and get. You know?
So Christmas time must be both like amazing and horrible for you.
Well, it's like I see all these people getting this cool stuff. I'm like, oh, that's really neat. What'd you get? Oh, that's awesome. That's really cool. Yeah, I'm not really a big fan of getting anything.
Yeah.
Though, so it's like I don't really care about that. Oh. Like I'm not somebody that like give me gifts.
Yeah, like it's nice, but I'm not like, oh, you.
If I was Smeagol, I'd be like, no, take the ring. I don't need it.
Yeah,
have it.
If you
fine.
Just, I happened upon this thing. Let me gift it to you. Yeah. Let it ruin your life.
Yeah. Can I go with you though? Because I'm really nosy about what's going to happen.
Yeah, like I am a little invested.
Also, Frodo had his fingers bit off, and it always bothered me because now he has to live his life without
an index finger.
Yeah,
it always bugged me that he wore it on his index finger too. Like
he couldn't even. But his fingers are so small, and that ring was huge.
True, but like
no, I mean like even then.
Yeah,
he'd have to put like 2 fingers in there because there's
that's
like
true because it's built for
huge.
like. If you think about hobbits, they're supposed to be like half, like literally half.
They're halflings, and then Sauron was because he's the one who wore it, right?
Right.
So
he wore it over armor.
Yeah, he had it over his armor.
Yeah,
right.
I mean, but in the movies, it's super snug on Frodo's finger. Like it doesn't come off unless he pulls it.
Although doesn't it? Does it change size or something?
I was about to ask that. Like, does it change size depending on the bearer? Because Gollum never.
What if a giant with gigantic fingers try to put it on, and now you have this huge, ridiculously huge golden ring. It's like 7 feet across.
It's like this, like the width of a cow.
Right, and then Sauron's just like he doesn't even have to feel it. He can like physically see it.
It's from like a
right
mile
there.
away.
Yeah.
He's just like, yep, know where we're going. Armies, let's go.
Yeah,
gotta get our industrious nation back up on track.
Right, and then they just destroy him.
Oh, man.
He's gone.
Sauron got robbed, apparently.
There's a game, I can't remember the name of it, a Lord of the Rings game, where it's like an RPG standard turn-based thing. You know, you have your dudes in front of you, and you choose your turn-based attacks, and they go in and they fight, you know?
Like Civilization and...
not so much Civilization, but more like Final Fantasy, like old school Final Fantasy.
Oh, okay, yeah, like Final Fantasy VII, like the original.
Yeah, you got your guys. They take their turn. They go and they slash. Then the enemies get their turn.
Right.
There's an RPG or there's like a turn-based attack game with the Lord of the Rings where the boss is you fight the Eye of Sauron, physically fighting the Eye of Sauron.
How is it even supposed to work? He's literally just flames. Like you can't do physical.
You just
attacks.
like whiff right through it.
It's just like, and he's just like, oh, that kind of tickled.
Right. Like other games are like, you fight this guy who's like he's been given the powers.
Right. And like, but he's physical. Like you can actually like, if you wanted to, you could reach out and touch him.
Right.
Oh my God.
But this one is you fight the eye. Makes no sense.
You just sit there and like start throwing Visine at him.
What if that's his problem?
His
eyes are just so dry.
Yeah.
And he's so mad. And it's so dry because it's just like volcanic. You know, Mordor, there's ash everywhere.
Yeah, there's all these irritants. And you know how sometimes a smell can make your eyes water and stuff? Like, I'm sure the smell of Mordor isn't that great. So it's probably
like barbecue.
Ew. I love barbecue and I love barbecue smell, and I can't wait for all of this to be over in the world so I could go back to my favorite barbecue
place.
Yes, everything.
You want everything? I want it all to be over
just
with.
All end. But no, like my favorite barbecue place is like in downtown, but it's far enough away that it's hard to get to anyway.
Yep.
But I'm pretty sure it's all closed up right now because Yeah, and you can't get delivery from this place because, again, it's so far. By the time you get back, it's all cold. But it's Texas barbecue.
Nice.
The guy who runs it is from Texas. He's from Dallas. I've been there a couple of times. I've chatted with him. We swapped a few stories about being back home. And I was like, the only thing about it that's not Texas barbecue is the portion size. Like, it's much smaller here because it's more expensive to get up here.
Right.
But
what's it feel like to be able to have a conversation with a random stranger and not be anxious and scared out of your mind?
Oh, the only reason I wasn't scared out of my mind is because I found out where he was from, and I'm like,
that was the connector
for
you.
It's weird if you're from a place that I've lived, if you're from Texas or you're from New Mexico, it's starting to get for Washington. It's cool that we say that we're in Washington, right?
We're in Washington?
Are we?
Wait, what? Oh my God. That's fine. I we live near Seattle.
Yeah, we do.
We talk about this all the time, because especially with the coffee.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. I never say exactly.
It's not cool.
Okay. Now I know for next time. But if I'm starting to get that way about this area, I don't know. I feel like I have an in, and I can be like, oh, I can relate to you a little bit.
If you're out of town, you can then talk to somebody from that place that you were in.
Yeah, and
I got you.
Yeah, and I could talk to people like, oh yeah, what part of Texas are you from? And they're like, oh, this part. I'm like, oh, I have family there. Whatever. I can find an in. But if I don't know that about you, or we don't have that, if you and I didn't know each other and you were just and we didn't work together,
I was
or whatever,
like a dude.
Yeah, you were just a dude, and we somehow ended up in a conversation, I would be terrified every second because I'd be
trying to get out of the conversation so I can go back to doing nothing and talking to nobody.
Yeah, exactly. I'd just be like, where are you from? New York?
I had a conversation. When I say conversation, it was a quick good morning to one of the maintenance people who work in my apartment.
Yeah.
And I remember I said something dumb because it was the morning and I had coffee.
Right.
And then I said something like, oh, yeah, so we can go walking again.
Yeah.
And then he looks at me and goes, have a good day.
Just
that was last week. And I can't stop thinking about how I made
Don't you hate it?
Stupid interaction.
Right.
I just thought I can't stop thinking about it.
I was the worst going to a movie theater. Because it's just so ingrained to be they're like, oh, enjoy your movie. Oh, yeah, you too.
Yeah, you too.
And then I think about it as I'm going to get popcorn or you too, whatever. And I'm just I get 5 steps and I'm like, what have I done? Oh my God, the things that
when I'm in line at something, I'm running through my head about what I'm going to say, and then if it goes off script, then I'm screwed.
Yeah, I do that too, and I also do that with arguments. You ever have an argument
I do
in your head?
And sometimes I do have this argument. Sometimes I'll know where my points, and then it goes off the script every time,
and you're
then
just
I have nothing.
Wait, where do I go from here?
I've got nothing.
Why was I angry?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh my God, I do that all the time. Not that I get in a lot of arguments, but if
I do.
You do?
Every single day.
Really?
Yeah, all the time. Very argumentative.
Okay, that's fun. I just think I'm right all the time.
I know I'm right all the time. See,
that's the big difference.
Of course, I know every single thing that I talk about.
I'm also stubborn. If I think I'm right, I will. Even if I find out in the middle, you could literally come up, if I thought the sky was purple and you came up and showed me scientific evidence that it was blue, I would still, for another week, just be like, it's purple. Nope, that is purple. That is shades. That is a light shade of purple. You can't say that that's blue. And I would defend that. And then finally I'd be like, I'm being an idiot. And I'll warm up to it. I'm just
look. Sometimes you just gotta go and have an argument. You have to do it.
Sometimes I think it's healthy to argue every once in a while. We get stressed. We get all these things in our daily lives. I think sometimes you just gotta let that out, and maybe that comes out in the form of an argument. The big thing is always just talk afterwards and be like, hey, I said things. I was angry. Talk it out. Figure out what's going on.
Oh, you make up afterwards? Oh.
Yeah. Do you not?
No, I burn bridges as I move on.
Oh my God. Remind me never to piss you off.
I'm done.
I like our friendship and our dynamic. I don't want to lose that. So
and I'm like, all right, we're done.
We're done.
Yep.
All right. Speaking of done, we are getting close to our timer going off. But last week, I kind of wanted to end on a positive note, as I'm trying to do, because I think there is lot of stress, a lot of, negative stuff going on in the world. And if we can do anything to just help, like, hey, maybe this is awesome, something you could do, just something nice to make people smile or just laugh, ending on a positive note is always a good thing to me. And so, do you have anything awesome that you would like to share?
I'm alive, and
You're
I'm not
alive.
dead.
Yes, that is always a plus.
Yes.
You've been worried about that recently.
I worry about that every day.
Oh, I kind of wonder what that's like. I don't think about myself enough, I guess, to worry that I'm just like, oh, I'm alive. Let me start doing what I got to do.
I mean, I do.
Yeah.
It freaks me out, but I am alive now.
Yeah?
Yes.
That's good.
That's probably good.
I like that you're alive, so I'm going to go with it's good.
Every day that I'm alive, more like body, physical pain, back pain, sleeping issues.
True.
I've been told by my doctor I can only have 2 cups of coffee.
Oh, that's rough.
It is rough.
What were you at beforehand, if you don't mind me asking?
Like multiple quad shot lattes.
Oh, so you were like
an entire container, a large container of French press.
Okay, so you're like maybe like 5 or 6
very
cups
strong.
a day. Yeah.
Yeah.
If not, okay. So maybe it sucks. And I
was drinking some it was Madrina's coffee with 180 milligrams in a can.
I was thinking about that yesterday actually as I was stocking the fridge. I was like, maybe the Madrina's had something to do with it, but
yeah,
it's good stuff, but it is packed with stuff. It is packed with sugar and caffeine.
Some of them have sugar, some of the other ones don't, but they are definitely high on caffeine.
Yeah,
they're very high
very
on caffeine,
high.
and those are 2 servings a can.
Yes. So if you have, I had the vanilla one or the mocha one that I like. Mm-hmm. One of those sends me off the wall. Like I couldn't do a second one, and
I
know
multiples of those sometimes in a day.
Yeah, that's I don't know how.
I only drink coffee now to stave off the headache that will come.
Right. Yes, we didn't have milk in the office, and the creamer we have is not the greatest, and so I went a couple days without coffee, and
you went without coffee because you can't have it without creamer?
I mean, I can. I just don't like it.
Right.
And
see, I can't do that.
Really?
Because then I will be out. If I don't have coffee, so if one day if I decide to stop drinking coffee, that's a week of my life that I will be in bed.
Okay.
I know this.
Yeah.
I'm just staving it off.
I definitely noticed like I broke at one point because it was like I went like a day and a half without it. I was like, the coffee we have is good, but it needs creamer, or something. And I don't like the creamer we have. I'll suck it up. And then the next day I was dragging so much. And then I got halfway through and I was like, screw it. I'm getting some with some creamer. And I noticed myself like, nope, I'm perky again. I'm happy. Which maybe is a sign of a problem. But
if I get past the point where my headache starts, if I drink coffee, the headache continues.
Goes away? Oh.
No, it continues, and now it's caffeine-fueled headache.
Oh, that's.
I have to wait till the next day before it goes away. Like I go to bed and I reset, kind of thing, almost like a Groundhog Day thing.
Oh, except
it's bad.
Hopefully not.
I should talk to a therapist about this. Some kind of doctor might want to. They did actually. They told me I could only have 2 cups.
Yeah.
But even then,
you're like,
I'm a mess.
It's okay. Though.
I'm a flame that is burning so hot. One of these days, I will burn right out.
You're like a red giant. Like,
yes.
But hey, red giants become white dwarfs.
At least it's not heroin.
That's true. Oh my god. That's where. Okay, that is true.
There's your happy thought. I'm on caffeine. At least it's not heroin.
It could be worse. That is
What's
true.
your happy thought? What happened to you?
Recently, we just finished we got to like the big milestone in a project yesterday, actually. The project went live here, and it's something that for the last like 3 weeks has basically consumed my life. I was here. I usually come in around like 9, 10, somewhere in there, because I like to sleep. I like to go to bed a little later. And we work in a really relaxed place. And usually that's okay. If I have a meeting, I'll get up, whatever. But I was, I get here between 9 and 10, and I usually leave somewhere between 4:30, 5:30, somewhere in there. And this had me coming in at like 8:30, and the worst night I was here until like 8:30, 9:30. I pulled like, I'm used to 12-hour days and stuff, but this was the first time I'd done it in a while. Mm-hmm. And there was a lot of investment, and it was a lot of back and forth and a lot of like things till we were going live, and the stress was getting me. And then yesterday everything went live. I logged in. I saw the work up on the website, and it was just like,
like you're done. It's posted. It's there.
Like, the rush is over. Now it's just like, cool, we're working on phase 2 and 3, but those have a couple months. It's not a last minute thing because we got approached really late in the game, I feel, for this. But
now it's
now the easier part is done, and I've got a lot of the bulk work out of the way, and now it's just like, cool, let's fine tune the rest of this. Let's get it up. Hopefully I can get it done before even October.
Right.
So it was a nice weight off. And if you're lucky enough to be employed right now and you're in those stressful situations, because a lot of things, if you're working right now, it is heavy. I hope that people get to feel that. Also, just a thing that I think both of us can enjoy. The spooky month is right around the corner.
I love autumn.
I do too.
I'm not a big really Halloween fan.
Sure.
But I like autumn in general.
I like the season. It's my favorite season, and I enjoy Halloween. I enjoy just the festivities of everything, and like I like spooky stuff. I like horror movies.
Yeah.
And I had actually made me think of an idea, and I think we're gonna have maybe 2 or 3 episodes in October if everything goes right. And I thought since there's 3 of us, maybe we could all each week bring in a spooky story, or something. Maybe it's a creepypasta, maybe it's a personal story, whatever. But we could all share, one a week throughout the spooky month. One of my favorite podcasts actually is coming back soon. Snap Judgment does one called Spooked. Oh, I love that podcast. It is so good. Like horror stories from around the U.S., all their listeners and stuff, that's coming back. So hopefully if you are a fan of the spooky month, if you're a fan of just autumn in general, it's going to start cooling off. It's going to be amazing. So,
oh, God. Oh, my God.
That is our timer.
I guess that's it.
Yep. That is my signal to wrap it up. That's going to be fun. I'm going to have to find a way to turn the volume down on that guy because my ear is ringing now. But any last bits you want to share before we go?
I can't wait to the next episode. I love doing this, so thanks for joining me.
Yes, thank you for running on this crazy idea. I've had a lot of fun. I know I speak for TheInevitableGrey when I say that they have also been having so much fun, and they're very bummed they can't be there today.
It happens.
Yeah, life
happens.
We all come down with a case of life.
Yes.
Well, from myself, imaginary friend Jack, from Darkosto, and from TheInevitableGrey, we want to thank you all so much for listening. We enjoy doing this every other week. We enjoy hearing back from you guys. Please, if you have questions, you can comment them on our YouTube videos, or you can email us at theroasto@gmail.com. Also want to give another big thank you, shout out to Jesse, who composed our opening and closing theme. I have officially made this the opening and closing for the audio and the video version of the podcast. Thank you so much. You're amazing. Do they have a social media presence that you can follow? I can't remember.
No.
No. Okay, that's okay. Well,
not now.
Not now?
But once we get 1 million subscribers, maybe he will.
Okay.
So he can ride on the coattails.
That would work. That would work. Well, you can always, if you want more, find Darkosto on his Twitch channel. That is twitch.tv
/Darkosto.
Or you can follow him on all socials at Darkosto TV. You can find me on Twitch as well every once in a while. I'm going to hopefully start streaming a little bit more at twitch.tv /ImaginaryFriendJack. And you can find me on Instagram mainly, or other socials at ImaginaryFriend_Jack for Instagram. Again, thank you all so much for listening. We hope you have a wonderful rest of your week. Stay safe, wear a mask, and we will see you next time.
This clock for counting down has a remote control that has more buttons than my Fire TV does, and it has a manual that is larger than most tech computer manuals. It's a clock.
Yeah.
It's a clock.
It's a clock. All right, say goodbye.
Goodbye.